Hello, welcome back. My name is Dr. George Mochocki, and today we're going to be starting Chapter 3. You're taking me online, face to face, or a blended class. And this is just a supplement to what we've discussed in the discussion board, or what we discussed in the chapter reading, or the homework assignments, and everything else all tied in together. Okay, so we went through Chapter 1 and 2, it's fairly easy. Now we're going to start getting into more of the complicated areas. And today we're going to talk about time value of money. How much money is worth today? Is it has the same value or the same worth as it from 5 years from now or for 10 years from now? What is the purchasing power? Now, when I'm looking at value, this is just the beginning of the learning finance. Part of finance is the value of money. And money basically means what I could purchase with this commodity. What value did I use this money to increase the value of my organization, my product line, my company? How do I increase the value of my company so it has a higher value than my competitors, so stockholders or potential owners will want to buy shares into my company because they see the value not only present but in the future, meaning more. So right now we're going to talk about a little compound interest, just as a quick overview. I want to go now back into the book. Make sure you utilize the book. The book is starting to now. You said, "Hey, this is easy reading book, Dr. George." Okay, now we're starting to get into more of the complexity. We're going to have some YouTube. I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can. At this level, at the community college, you're taking me at Harper. You're going to do some mathematical, so you know the mechanism of how the numbers, what the relationship of the numbers are, and how to accomplish that task. But I want more for you to conceptually understand what is going on. Once you understand the concept, what's happening, it's easier to take the mechanistic portion, the math portion, and put the two together. Okay? So let's talk about it. So we're going to talk about the value of money. And then I think next, then we're going to talk chapter 4 is the value of cash flow money, how much money I keep on cash versus how much money I make money on money. Remember, even if I keep it on cash, unless I have it in like a piggy bank or something, or petty cash, a bank in the office, I'm not making any money off of that. Most of them now with debit cards and everything else are still making some interest on that. Very little, but I'm making something. The whole thing in finance is I just don't let my value of my money just sit there and make nothing. I have to be making some kind of a growth on it. All right? Okay. So let's go to the introduction. So, but let's see. So I'm gonna go into our Blackboard. What I wanted to go on the Blackboard, so let's go into our Blackboard class, whether it's this class or another class, remember, because I use these chapters over again. Make sure you go into, when you go into my finance lab, that's the Pearson's software to help you learn this subject matter. Go into my master's thing. Mine's a little bit different because I'm in this instructor's mode. You won't see this half, but you'll see this half. Go into my mastering course. Remember, these are the things you have. You have, okay, in here, you could have here where you have your financial calculator. They'll show you how to utilize this calculator. Those of you who utilize this calculator, when you start doing the homework in the next couple of chapters, you'll see a picture of a calculator. You either have this calculator or you'll have, what do you call it, the TI, the scientific one. This one's easier because a lot of times you could take exams and everything with this one because the formula's already in here. This one here, I could, if someone took the exam earlier, I could program in the whole steps by steps here. So this is a little easier to cheat with. This one's programmable. I mean, so it has everything else you have. You have your net present value, you have your payment, you have your everything you need for financial calculators here. Where students have an issue, remember, when you're going to come in here, let's go financial calculator. I'll click in here real quickly. Pop-up ads, okay? So now you could download different calculators. Here's the one you're looking at. This is the one I had and always had, when I was going for finance, way back. You look at use this calculator, press the buttons. The thing you have to remember about utilizing this calculator, that it has like a background to it. So when you clear it here, when you clear, you get rid of this number, but you have to do a function second and clear here to get rid of that background information, like the spreadsheet that's working on. So you're adding number and you're taking it out. You don't see it. So a lot of students just do the one clear and then they put the numbers in. It's the wrong answer because it's still looking at something that you haven't completed the formula you did behind. That's all I want you to remember. Look at the videos, you go, or you download the electronic one, and you should be okay. Okay, so that's one thing I want you to know. So now you know that's your tool. Remember, it's a blended class or an online class. You have to learn this stuff. Look at it; it's not that hard. The videos are 5-10 minutes. Okay. Now the other thing is you have your library. Again, in your library, what you have, you could do like we're going to be covering chapter 3. So I'm going to go in chapter 3, value of money, and then I could look at the calculator, or give me the web, it'll give me some animation, it'll tell me if I have a spreadsheet, I can use Excel for that. It'll give me an annuity calculator and give me a video. I hit them all. I don't know what's in there, and sometimes they have it, so here's what I have. So I have future value animation, so it talks about it. I have a tutorial, walks me through it. I have examples 3.1, 3.2, 3.4. And remember, when you're doing your homework and your exams, I do 1, 2, 3. I give you the basic one. So click on the video. What's the video? Let's see. I come in here and it says competitive market prices to determine the value. You know, look at your value of what you're doing for your company or the value of your product. You have to look what your competitors are doing, see if there's a break-even point, see if it meets your profit margin. All this is the money. Do I spend it now or to spend it later on? Do I put in an investment now? I get a higher return in 5 years. Do I put an investment now and I get a quick return in maybe 1 year or 2 year? And what is this? Is this for a long-term plan or is this a short-term plan? This is finance, okay? So if I click on there, let me just go. And I'll go in here.
So what you'd rather do is go to another concert. And the radio stations, on eBay, your favorite band, tickets are 50.
And it has it step by step. So I'm just letting you know what you have on here. Okay. Now the other way a lot of students like doing is you just go into this go chapter 3. It's basically where it has my resources. Okay. Chapter 3. There we go. And it has everything. You have your homework you could do here. You could take pre-test before you take my test. You have see your grade book where you're at. You have your study plan, how to study for this chapter. It has the videos and animations, spreadsheets, and financial calculators. So let's see what do we have in videos. The same videos we have. Yep, basically has the same thing. Nothing changes. All right. So this is how you learn, and this is why we're doing. Okay. So we're out of here now. Let's go back into our concept map, and so we did a little introduction. So let's see what we have here. Remember, you have my concept maps. Just follow along with the maps. You should do well. So basically, when I'm looking at the value of money equals to the value of the company. Later on, we'll talk about how much is the company worth, the market share, the market value, and the real value of the organization. So how much is the money going to cost me? Capital money, opportunity to cost. If I put this money into this project, that means some other projects can't be done. Which one has the higher return? What you're going to find out from this book, you're going to do having different models, and you're going to find out which one is more beneficial to me depending on what my long-term goals are. There's not one model that's going to be able to take the picture and tell you this is the way it's going to go. You're going to do several different models, and then you're going to select, and you're going to take a good, so you kind of get a feeling of how you are, and then you basically, that's what your ratios do in accounting now. It just gives you that, here's where the company's at. And now you still have to use your intuitive or your critical thinking skills. How am I going to make this better? Okay? Opportunity cost benefit analysis, value and cash flows at different points. Remember, right now I'm okay, but in 3 months I may need more cash flow. So how do I adjust my model so it allows less cash for the months that I need more cash for spending and more cash for the other month? Or do I work it out with the way I put my streams in, that it levels it all out, so it makes it more of a flat for all across. I don't have any spikes or any kind of lows in night. And discounting basically I'm looking at, I go forward and I discount back to see what the money's worth there and how much it's worth now, and time value of money and interest rate. Right now, people are thinking the interest rates going up with the Trump administration. Remember, whether you like Trump or not, I don't really care. Here's what's going on. He's keeping the interest rates down. He's signaling to the Federal Reserve, a separate entity, but we'll get into that later on. It's basically the banker's bank. We pay them, they print the money, and they give us the money as interest rate back. So there's a discussion. Are we going to get rid of the central bank in the future? Is Trump trying to go back to the gold standard? Hey, I'm just looking at different things. To me, I find this fascinating because I'm into finance. But from a small business, it's down the road. What do I do now? Okay? So right now the interest rates maybe go down, so maybe now's the best time to take a loan out because I got a low interest rate. I can't beat them anymore. Maybe in the next 5 years, if I look at the historical interest rates, how they go up, and I go, oh, shoot, maybe in 5 years it's going to be 15%, 16%, 18%, 20%. It's been there. Is it going to be there? So do I use the money now? Do I take my education out? That's what some of you are taking your student loans out for. Okay, effects of compound interest. It's basically simple interest with the future value, simple interest. You just add it. So I got this, I add the interest. So by the year end, after I pay all my interest and everything else, I start off at 1,000, then I come up at 1,100. Next year, I add the interest on that, and that's how it compounds. That's how the charge cards make it. You don't have to do anything else, but you pay the minimum, and the minimum still doesn't cover the cost of the interest. So basically, they're adding that additional cost into your payment, and you figure, man, I only got $1,000. It's going to take me 16 years to pay off if I just do the minimum of $2 or $5 or $10, whatever it is a month. So you always have to give more than what the minimum is, or double it, and you could get out a lot quicker. And if you use the calculator, it'll show you how, if I increase my payments here. Real easy. Come on, once you understand this calculator, remember, take the tutorial. Real easy. Just remember to double clear, and this one works. Students like it. It makes it easy. You go buy in a car, print it out. How much is the payment? Oh, geez, well, a little bit more than I wanted to pay. How much interest am I paying over the long run? Remember, they take it for 60 months. You break it down. Oh, you're only paying like $75, but that could be like triple what your loan is if you look at the compound and how much you're paying over the period of the loan. Okay, okay. So on your calculator again, you have your future value. Remember, it has all these numbers in here. It has your present value. It has a formula, everything you need. So this makes it easier. And once you learn how to use it like this is your tool. Those of you going to finance, this is your tool. This is usually the calculator even let you take in an exam. Okay, there's no way that some of the annuities you can do it by hand. Give me a break. You do a spreadsheet, and later on we'll expose you into spreadsheet. Okay, so payment must equals one to be the period rate, and we talked about this class. I'm just giving you this. So look at this. It's just a number, clear. Remember two each time, and that's what I keep on bringing up here. People make a mistake, and log into my financial lab, and that's what we did for the basic calculator. Okay. Time value of money is basically what you're looking at. What's the money worth in the future? What's the company worth in the future? I buy junk bond now or penny stock. A couple of bucks, maybe a couple of bucks, maybe $30, and then hopefully maybe in 10 years it's worth $300. Hey, good investment. And then I sell it. But then I sell it. Is it like buy the same amount now because the money's worth less? I mean, the value I only could get so much for what I could get now. I got more money, but I could buy more. Is the value of the money is been reduced, or did it go up? Did something happen in the economy? Did it take a dive? Remember, financial markets go up and down. They take a dive. It clears itself up, and it goes up again. That's when you look at your recession and your depression. Okay, again, how much do I have to invest today? You basically a simple formula: future value equals present value 1 plus the rate, the interest rate, and the time. And you rearrange this present value. See, now here's the formula you do it by hand. The calculator has a formula. You just put in the numbers and it looks for the variables that you don't have. When we talk about discounting, finding the present value of something in the future, you discount it back. So here's what it's worth now, but I want to look apples with apples, the same amount of purchasing power, for lack of a better word. When we talk about the value of something, we're talking about present value unless we indicate that we're talking about future value. Okay, you have to be specific. What are we talking? What's the value of the future? What's the value now? So you work your way back, and you're making your assumption. Sometimes I would like to say you're about like 80% correct. But things can happen in markets. It could be a war. It could be a depression. Something could happen that something happens. You're talking about and it affects that cycle. Either speeds it up or slows it down. The longer for a given interest rate, the longer the time, the lower the present value. Remember, the longer the time, that means that dollar keeps on inflation and everything else, and the value of the dollar gets on smaller and smaller. But so I need more dollars to basically do the same amount that I do here. Or it could be in reverse. I'm not saying. Remember, it hasn't happened, but it does happen once it takes a dive, and then all of a sudden the dollar has what they call a reset in finance. Okay, for a given number of time, higher interest rate, but smaller payments. Because remember, you're using my money for a longer time. I want something back. So a lot of times when you and I'll leave it like this. When you look at compound interest and people who are in debt and they get like the consolidation companies to help them with their debt, what they're basically doing is saying, we'll knock off 50%. They're not knocking off your principal, what you paid. You already paid for that long over. They're knocking off that interest amount that compound. They say, hey, look, hey, come on. It's like you're making money on money. We're just reducing the amount. Instead of you getting 2%, we'll give you, 16%. We'll settle for 3%. We'll knock this in half. You're still getting something else because you're still making money. Your money, the value of the money is worth less, but it's better than losing it all. You see the difference? Okay. And like I said, we'll discuss that in the book. Okay, often we will want to know what implied interest is on the investment. Later, money on the time. Okay, so you got future value equals present value plus one plus time. We had that, and then R is the period rest expressed in the decimal. Make sure it's a decimal, not a percentage. If it's a all right, people mix up. Remember, I got a percent in the decimal. It means that it's a smaller amount. Be careful. A lot of people have trouble with that. I'm just bringing it out. Know the difference between a percentage and a decimal. Future interest value is 1 plus R plus the time. Because I'm always going to take that 1 month. That's why the 1's in there. Okay? All right, discount rate. Interest, let's see what we have in the discount rate or the interest rate, for lack of better words. All right. Exchange rate between earlier money and later money. This is, right? I'm discounting it back, earlier money or later money. I'm looking in the future, but I'm taking the present money and seeing how much the money's going to be worth in the future. A lot of different variables. But the real simple is how much is going to grow. It grew a lot. It grew a lot. It grew a lot. It grew a lot. But could I have the same purchasing power with that? Okay, so here's the formula we talked about. And then again, when I look at the spreadsheet basically use the following formula for the time value of money, calculations, and the spreadsheet. The author, when you go into the book here, when I come into here, the author already has the spreadsheet set up for it. Let me go in here. All right. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go financial resources. Okay. And I'm going to go to chapter 3. Even though the homework assignments, I'm not doing the spreadsheets. You will in the future. You look at the spreadsheets, you bring it out. Time value, all sections. Let's see which one. Let's go this one here. Find now. So there's no spreadsheets for that one. Value discounts. Find now. There's none in here. Anything to us any spreadsheets in this one? Nope. No spreadsheets in this one, all right? You'll see it in other chapters we'll go into there. Are we okay? All right, so that's what we have. We have everything covered. And remember, we're just talking about present value. The whole thing of finance is the present value, is time value of money in the future. Like it or not, what's the money worth now? Do I do it now or do it later? Do I get my education now or do I wait later on? You get it now, you got a lower interest rate. Down the road, it's harder and harder to get loans and everything else. So, excuse me, there's a lot of individuals who have student loans, including yours truly, and we'll work on that. So if you ever become famous, just think of your instructors who are trying to help you out. All right? Okay, so I'm out of here. Let me go real quickly. I'll just bring this back in, fit the map. So we covered everything in here. So we talked about, remember, this is just a real quick format, expand. There we go. Sorry. View, flow here, fit man. All right. So let's see how many minutes we have. We talked about compound interest. Remember, there's more detail. I'm just giving you a quick overview. This is what this chapter is about. Read the book, do the videos. I'm always going to be bringing up the videos, the resources, so you know you have that, and they'll help you through it. And I'll see you next time. I'll see you, and then we have chapter 4. Also, we'll be talking about is the value of cash flow. Remember that money that I'm holding back to have able to pay my bills. It's also money I could utilize to plant or grow my another stream of income. What's the value of, and how much should I hold? I always want to have a safety stock, but not hold more than I need. All right. So again, my name is Dr. Jordan Mochocki, and thank you for taking this class. And let's see how many minutes I have on here. 20 minutes. Hit right on top. All right. I'll see you in the next chapter coming up.